Hey, welcome back for yet another 6.5 Creedmoor ballistics gel test. Today we are shooting 129 grain CoreLokt tipped. And here's the box. This is Remington's sort of new age CoreLokt. They've streamlined the bullet, put a polymer tip, yada yada. They bill it apparently for deer, elk, or hog. And then let's flip it around and look at the literature. So here you can pause it and read all that if you want to. Basically, it's just saying that they've made the CoreLokt bullet that they've had for decades and decades better, at least ostensibly. Going down to the specs, they claim a muzzle velocity of 2,945 feet per second. We will see how true that is. And here's what the ammo looks like out of the box. I didn't see anything that would cause concern, no dents or dings or anything. Here's a closer look at those CoreLokt tipped bullets. They have a really nice aerodynamic profile. The tips seem to be nice and uniform. I mean, it looks like good stuff. Let's go shoot it. And my test rifle today is none other than Pig Ugly, my Ruger American 6.5 Creedmoor 22-inch barrel, Leopold VX Freedom scope on top. We'll be taking 3 shots from 100 yards, firing into 10% ballistics gel that has been calibrated to meet the FBI's ballistics testing protocol. And while ballistics gel isn't an exact proxy for big game, it does provide a repeatable medium through which to test various bullets and ammo against each other. After the shots, we'll examine bullet expansion, weight retention, penetration, and velocity. My goal is to provide hunters like you and I with the most objective information possible to help us make the best choice for our particular hunting situation. The ballistics gel in this video has been sourced from Clear Ballistics. You can find a link in the description. Let's see if we can get this done before it rains. All right, we're down here at the blocks after shooting 3 rounds of the 129 grain CoreLokt tipped out of the 6.5 Creedmoor. And this is interesting. So we got all the way through the first block, and these are 16-inch long blocks, by the way. And all 3 bullets stopped pretty short into that second block. So let's see how deep they did penetrate. All right, we got the tape measure out, and apparently this one isn't exactly 16 inches. Maybe it's compressed a little or something. I don't know. It's like 15 and a half. Regardless, so it looks like we got one bullet way down there in the bottom at about 17 inches. The furthest one is about 17 3/4, and then this one up top that barely made it in hit right at about, we'll give it 16 inches. All right, I'm going to dig these out so we can get the specs on them. All right, let's get the velocities for those CoreLokt tipped 129 grain 6.5 Creedmoors. Okay. The high was 2855, the low was 2830, and the average was 2842. Here we have the 129 CoreLokt tipped fired from the 6.5 Creedmoor. First, we're going to go ahead and hit on weight retention. The overall average retained weight was only 88 grains, but that was driven down substantially by one of the bullets that had their core separate. But nevertheless, that is the average, so that's what we're going to go with. Respectively, the bullets retained 120 grains, 97 grains, and 47 grains of weight for a 68% overall weight retention. And I've gone ahead and flipped the bullets over so we can talk about diameter. Max average diameter amongst the 3 bullets was 0.57 inches. And again, that was driven down slightly by the one bullet that had the core separate. Respectively, we saw 0.63 inches, 0.59 inches, and 0.49 inches for an overall average expansion of 2.2x, which nevertheless is above my sort of 2x benchmark. So it could have been worse, but it could have been a lot better had we not seen that one core separate. Now let's talk about velocity. High velocity was 2,855 feet per second, low was 2,830 feet per second, average velocity was 2,842 feet per second versus a build velocity of 2,945 per the box and manufacturer. So it did come in a little bit slow, 103 feet per second slow to be exact, but that's not surprising. None of the ammo tested so far has come particularly close to the factory stated velocity, and at least this is still kind of up there. Now let's talk about penetration. The overall average was 16.9 inches, and respectively we got 17 3/4 inches, 17 inches, and 16 inches for the 3 shots that I took. And that's a bit less than the 20-inch benchmark that I like to see for medium and large game hunting ammo. Well, medium game hunting ammo, not so much large game. I'd like to see quite a bit more penetration if we're going after something truly big. But unless your deer are particularly gigantic, I'm sure this ammo would do just fine penetration-wise. Your average whitetail deer is only 12 to 14 inches wide at the shoulder. So unless you're taking quartering shots and things like that, which do happen, this ammo would probably do fine. But for me, I like to see a little bit more penetration. Closing thoughts on that 129 grain Remington CoreLokt tipped out of the 6.5 Creedmoor. Overall, I'm sure it would do just fine in typical deer hunting scenarios. We did have one of the bullets break up, which drove the weight retention down on an overall average. And that's not the first time I've seen core separation with CoreLokt tipped ammo. I did a 30-680 grain CoreLokt tip. That video is live. And we had the same thing. One of the bullets had a core separate, so sort of a running trend. I'll be curious to see going forward how that bullet performs in other calibers, 270, 243. I've got a bunch that are coming up in the pipeline. So weight retention's kind of an issue, at least at close range. Penetration didn't quite measure up to what I like to see either. 99% of the time that'll do just fine. Deer are not particularly large, but if you get a bad shot, a quartering shot, something just goes wrong beyond your control, that's why I like to see that 20-inch benchmark of penetration. And I'm fully aware ballistics gel isn't a game animal and a game animal isn't ballistics gel, and so the performance on a bullet on one or the other isn't going to correlate exactly, but we can correlate bullet performance to each other in the same medium, and based off some other 6.5 Creedmoor loads I've tested, this one doesn't measure up in terms of penetration. Hey, if you enjoy these videos, check out my website, masonleather.com, and get yourself some leather gear handmade by me just for you. I've been handcrafting leather gear for hunters for over a decade, and I would love to make you something. The link is in the video description. And check out my channel for more hunting ammo ballistics gel tests.